Okay, for the first day of the training, the first period, observe safe working practices. So the aims and objectives, the objectives of observing safe working practices, importance of the course, working on ship is hazardous. Equipment and procedures provided to avoid them. Okay. Así que trabajar en un barco es peligroso. And equipment and procedures provided to avoid them. That's the important ship familiarization, various types and common nautical terms applicable to them, the working environment of the ship, and likely hazards concerning gangway and safety net, the main deck, hulls and hatches, forecastle and poop deck, windlass, anchors and winches, cranes and derricks. So we have a lot of words there. Tenemos un montón de palabras ahí, técnicas. Gangway and safety net. Gangway.
Escalera o escalera.
Oh, yeah. Ok. Escalera. Gangway. Escalera real. Gangway. All right. That's the first one. Gangway. Or and safety net. The main deck. Okay. La cubierta principal. Holes and hatches. Hatches. Holes and hatches. Hatch es la compuerta. And hold. This is the hatch. Well, this is hatch cover for some of the fishing equipment. And holes. That's going to be for the doors. Okay. Okay. Cargo hold. Hatch cover. Forecastle and poop deck. Forecastle and poop deck. So that's for the forecastle. This type of the deck. We have the main deck, the bridge, navigation bridge, the main deck, and forecastle. Forecastle. Castillo de proa. Forecastle. And poop deck. Cubierta de popa o cubierta. Poop es así, excremento, ¿verdad? Poop, pero es una manera más como infantil de decirlo, que no sea tan fuerte. But poop in the ship viene del francés. Poop deck. The term poop deck stems from poop, the French word referring the stern of the ship. Despite this location in the rear, it has nothing to do with poop as we know it. Dice que no tiene para nada que ver con la palabra en inglés, sino que viene del francés poop. Okay, poop deck. And it's going to be on the stern. En arquitectura naval, una cubierta de popa. Es una cubierta que forma el techo de una cabina construida en la parte trasera o a popa. Poop deck. Is the complete opposite. Okay, the complete opposite of the forecastle. Forecastle, okay. Forecastle and poop deck. Forecastle and poop deck. This is the main deck. Proa y fondo. Voy a hacer una de las palabras acá. Popa. Proa. Okay. Windlass. Torno. O molinete. Okay. All referring to the anchor. Todo referente a al ancla. Anchor windlass. Okay. Es el mecanismo completo, ¿verdad? Windlass. Anchors and winches. Winch or winches cabrestantes. Okay, cabrestante. This is for the anchor to fall or to come up. Cranes and or derricks. Cranes or derricks, las grúas. Cranes. Okay. That's a ship crane and a ship derrick. Also the similar term. All right. So various ship types and common nautical terms applicable to them. The working environment of the ship and likely hazards concerning. So those are the kind of the common things that can, result in an accident for the deckhands working in that. Así que eso es un poquito de los que es de las partes más peligrosas del barco que pueden resultar también en un accidente para los marineros. Gangway and safety net, main deck, hulls and hatches, forecastle and poop deck, windlass, anchors and winches, cranes or derricks. Please, Tito, can you pronounce, Pep, decirlas, the green ones?
Gangway and safety net. Safety net. Main deck, hulls and hatches, forest castles and poop deck, windlass, anchors and winches, cranes and derrick.
Okay. Anchors. Anchors.
Anchors.
Con K. Anchors.
Anchors. Okay,
Anchors.
anchors. Anchors. Perfect.
En verdad no sé cuántas llevan, cuántas anclas lleva un barco de esos.
Dos.
Oh, yeah? Two anchors. Okay. The majority of ships have more than one anchor. Yeah, perfect. It is common for ships to have two anchors, one on the port side and one on the starboard side of the ship. Pretty good. Okay, manifold and deck pipeline system on a tanker. Okay, all for the fuel. Así que en un barco, ¿verdad? Que va a tener un sistema de combustible. Manifold es como, por ejemplo, para el motor. Manifold, el colector. Aunque ya muchos mecánicos le dicen manifold así, pero colector. We have, por ejemplo, en un motor, we have the intake manifold that is going to enter, oxygen, and also the exhaust manifold. Esos colectores normalmente para los motores, el colector de ingreso, donde ingresa oxígeno, y the exhaust manifold es donde van a ser los gases ya del proceso de combustión removidos. And deck pipeline system. Pipeline es todo la tubería. Pipeline system on a tanker. A tanker. What's a tanker ship? Un buque cisterna. Tanker ship. Okay. Diseñado para transportar o almacenar líquidos o gases a granel. That's for a tanker. Okay, a tanker. Accommodation, los lugares donde se duerme. Accommodation, the bridge, el puente, and the engine room. Okay, así que digamos estos en verde, please, Tito.
Manifold and deck pipeline system on a tanker, accommodation, bridge, a dining room.
Okay, engine. Eso es motor. Engine room. Pues en un carro va a salir la luz de engine, la luz de check, ¿verdad? Engine check sería. O check engine sería la luz que sale en un carro, ahí para que le llaman normalmente la luz una naranja para chequear qué pasa en el carro, ¿verdad? Check engine light. ¿Qué sería esta? Engine check. Or check engine light. So the engine room, ahí pues hay muchas posibles cosas que pueden salir mal en una sala de máquinas. On the bridge and the accommodation, I think not too much. En los camarotes no creo tanto. Bridge, en el puente de mando. And for the manifold and deck pipeline system, for the pipeline system on a tanker, we have a lot de todas las tuberías que van a ir a lo largo del barco. Okay. Really complex piping, bastantes complejas. Okay. So, nature of shipboard hazards. ¿Qué cosas son las más usuales en los peligros, sí? De babor, ¿verdad? De babor. Tenemos estribor y tenemos babor. Shipboard. and starboard. Starboard. Slips, trips, and falls due to slippery surfaces, oil, grease, garbage, water, ice, etc., or obstructions, pipelines, welding cables, lashing ice, wires, ropes, etc. Okay, shipboard. Okay, en la borda, ¿verdad? En la borda sería el shipboard. Head injuries. Head injuries due to low doorway entrances, overhead loads, falling equipment or materials. Head injuries. Head injuries due to low doorway entrances, overhead loads, and falling equipment or materials, and falls through open manholes, unfenced openings, loose or missing gratings. Okay, so let's take a look at the shipboard. Los peligros de la borda.
Upon completion of this section, the trainee should have a good understanding of safe working practices, safety and protective devices available to protect against potential hazards aboard a ship, precautions to take prior to entering enclosed spaces, familiarization with international measures concerning accident prevention and occupational health. It is important to follow safe working routines and practices at all times to assure both your and others' safety on board the ship. Important elements in the formula for safe working practices include safe work analysis, identifying hazards that might occur, making sure the person responsible for the work is aware of all its potential dangers, preventing accidents. There are various safety and protective equipment devices available to protect against hazards on board a ship. Safety and protective equipment must always be in good condition and be stored in places where it is easily accessible. All personnel on board are obliged to use the protective equipment available on board. The safety and protective equipment can be divided up into the following categories: personal safety and protective equipment, job-related safety and protective equipment. Personal safety and protective equipment includes items such as helmet, safety boots, gloves, boiler suit, safety glasses, ear protection. Job-related safety and protective equipment includes items such as lifeline, harness, fall arresters, respiratory protection such as a dust filter, dust mask and breathing appliances. It is important to know the difference between when to use dust masks and when to use breathing apparatuses. It is important that all personnel on board are aware of the dangers of entering enclosed spaces, which precautions to take, and what safety equipment to use. An enclosed space is one with restricted access that is not subject to continuous ventilation and in which the atmosphere may be hazardous due to oxygen deficiency or the presence of hydrocarbon gas, toxic gases, or inert gas. This definition includes areas such as cargo tanks, ballast tanks, fuel tanks, water tanks, lubricating oil tanks, sewage tanks, cofferdams, etc. Many of the fatalities in enclosed spaces have resulted from entering the space without proper supervision or adherence to agreed procedures. The equipment to use may vary from company to company and ship type to ship type. Here are some important questions to ask before entering. Has the space been thoroughly ventilated and oxygen level measured? Have arrangements been made for continuous ventilation? Are rescue and resuscitation equipment available for immediate use beside the compartment entrance? Has a system of communication between a person at the entrance and those in the space been agreed? Make sure you are familiar with your vessel's procedures before entering enclosed spaces. In trying to reduce the number of accidents, it is important that not only accidents but also near accidents are reported. Accidents should not have to take place before actions are taken to remove or reduce hazards. Some accidents can be avoided if the possible hazard is reported. Studies have shown that there is a close connection between near accidents and serious or major injuries. Many injuries and accidents could have been avoided if near accidents had been reported.
Okay. So, different types of hazards: slips, trips, and falls. ¿Sí? Tropiezos, deslizamientos, ¿verdad? Resbalarse, trips, que serían caídas o tropiezos, and falls, que serían caídas, ¿verdad? Trips es más como tropiezo. Head injuries, golpes en la cabeza. Falls, ¿verdad? Caídas through open manholes. Open manholes, como el del video. Por ahí que estaba entrando a la parte ahí del compartimiento. Manholes. Ok. Okay, clothing, fingers, etc. are getting caught in moving machinery such as grinding wheels, winch trumps, gears, flywheels, etc. Así que también ropa que se queda atrapada en maquinaria en movimiento. Okay. Al final, máquinas que estén ahí en la sala de máquinas, como los embragues, ¿sí? También grinding wheels, que es una pulidora. Burns from steep pipes, hot machinery, are welding sparks. Quemaduras, ¿sí? De lo que es tubería por a vapor, maquinaria que esté caliente y también las chispas en soldadura, por soldadura. Eye injuries through chipping, welding or chemicals. También lo que es pues problemas, lesiones del ojo, cuando por ejemplo sean químicos, cuando esté limando alguna pieza o también soldando. Injuries and sliding or fall of unsecure equipment due to ships moving in rough water. También lesiones, ¿verdad? O golpes y también caídas o resbalarse por equipo inseguro debido al movimiento del barco en un clima adverso. There are a ton of videos, hay muchos videos en el YouTube de pues, tormentas y cosas por el estilo, donde llevan el barco al límite. So they take the maximum effort for the ship to, to keep in water and not to capsize. Hazards of extreme weather. Well, not typically for the cruise ships, but usually in the fish ships, you are going to have extreme conditions Extreme weather ship, fishing ship. I saw in Discovery Channel, you know, they have some of the programs for fishing, and it's kind of a difficult thing to watch because they take, you know, the boat to the maximum effort, terrifying monster waves and hurricanes and thunderstorms. This is for also a big catch. Big catch sería una gran pesca. The life of a fisherman. Cuestión de barcos de pesqueros y son mucho más complicados. I think I will last a day there. No, no creo que duraría un día yo en una situación de estas pescas mortales. Es el programa de Discovery Channel. Okay. Lack of oxygen in confined spaces. Presence of hydrocarbon gas or other toxic gases like CO2. Hazards of chemicals used on board. Fire, collision, grounding, floating, sinking, pirates, and stowaways. Floating. We have types of collision. Eso es una parte del material también. Types of collisions. Hay también tipos de colisiones en los barcos. Ok. Grounding, esto, ahí sí que toque a tierra, digamos. Floating, en lo que es el tipo de problema con el agua, que empieza a inundarse el barco. Sinking, the worst. Lo peor que sería sinking, que es ya el barco ya perdió toda capacidad de mantenerse a flote y tiene ahí al final que se me fue la palabra en español, hundirse. Sinking, el hundimiento. Okay, let's read this, please, Tito. Can you read this, the entire page?
Okay. All blue. Only blue?
Yeah, I'm going to start with the red one. Safeguards and equipment used on board to counter hazards. Counter hazards es para combatir. Así que todo el equipo y las medidas de seguridad en el barco para combatir los peligros.
Okay. The ship's safety manual contains all the necessary procedures and checklists required to be followed for any ship's work operation. The importance of creating a safety culture of work a ship to enable to safer working environment and to counter workplace hazards, and the importance of safety meeting on board the requirement for this shipboard familiarization, induction for the all joining ship personnel, the basic principle of the International Safety Management Code.
All right, pretty good. So we have a lot of types of material to counter hazards. The ship's safety manual that contains all the necessary procedures and checklists required to be followed for any shipboard operation. Ship's safety manual. So this is a complete set, you know, all the guidelines, all the instructions for you to keep in mind, all right? Fire protection, medical first aid, life-saving, vessel operations, the SOLAS International Safety Management System, heavy weather, vessel security, chartering, and non-EPA owned vessels. So all this manual, all the type of vessels, los tipos de barco también, all the things that you need to have in mind when boarding a vessel. Es lo mismo del curso, digamos, de personal safety, pero en cuestión de, pues ya un manual completo en el que se tienen todas las maneras, ¿verdad? De la seguridad operacional en el barco. Okay, so that's for the first one. The importance of creating a safety culture on board of a ship to enable a safer working environment and to counter workplace hazards and the importance of safety meetings on board. Así que en la importancia de que la persona, la tripulación tengan una cultura de seguridad para mantener un mejor ambiente seguro, y también the importance of safety meetings, el tener muchas, al final, reuniones de seguridad a través de las brigadas que estén asignadas regularmente. The requirement for the shipboard familiarization, that's for you to know all the parts of the ship, okay, and to be familiar with that. Shipboard familiarization. Shipboard sería el barco completo, ¿verdad? Shipboard.
You must have seen massive ships sailing at high seas. But can you name different parts of the ships? Do you know each part of the ship is built with a specific purpose and has a unique name? The unique terminologies used for defining different aspects of ships are internationally accepted standards. In this video, we will try to visually understand different parts of the ship along with the most common terminologies used worldwide. Let's see how many you know. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get connected.
Okay, so those are all the parts for the vessel. I thought that was with voice, but let's have a picture for that. Well, these are the main parts. These are the main parts for the shipboard, the bridge, el puente de mando. Okay, that's inside the superstructure, the funnel, la chimenea, the stern, the propeller, stern. Let's take a look at stern. Popa y proa. This is a propeller, la hélice. The port, this is called the port. Hull. The casco. Hull. Anchor, ancla. Bulbous, bow. And the bow. Bow, proa, and the bulbous bow is this part of the ship that is going to help with fuel efficiency and the movement of the water also. Deck, that's for the esa es la cubierta. Starboard, estribor. Okay. Bridge, that's already. And all the ships, they have the plans. Todos los barcos tienen sus planos. So that's like public, eso es público, cada uno de los planos de los barcos y sus diferentes cubiertas. This is the allure of the seas. Okay, that it has some of the decks. Okay. Deck 3, 4, 7, and so. Okay. Each of the cruise ships are going to have those plans. Todos tienen sus planos disponibles for everyone to know about that vessel, para que todos puedan saber de ese barco. Okay, that's for the shipboard familiarization. Okay. And in Spanish, for the ones that are going to have, take a look at the video. Also, we have tenemos la popa, proa. These are for the, esta es la proa acá, amura de estribor, amura de babor. Well, that's for a different type of ship. This is more like it, como el video. Proa, el bulbo de proa, the one that was on this part. Number 2, number 3, that's the anchor. This is the bow, bulbous bow. Number 1, bow. Number 2, bulbous bow. Number 3, anchor. Number 4, costado de babor, or the port. Number 5, the propeller. Number 6, what was number 6 for? This part. It can be also called the poop deck, but it can also be called AFT for the rear side, AFT. The stern also, the stern or the rear side, AFT or stern. That's for number 6, popa, stern or AFT. Number 7, the funnel. Number 8, la superestructura, puente de mando, superstructure, and the bridge or navigation bridge, and the main deck. For number 9, the main deck. This is the same as for English. AFT for the rear side, stern, hull, keel, or the port side. That's for the left side of the ship, port side, starboard, the right side of the ship, bow, bulbous bow, FWD for the front side. Okay. And for the basic principles of the International Safety Management Code. Basic principles of the International Safety Management Code. Esas son formas de cómo puedo combatir los peligros en el barco. Okay, the requirement for the ship to have a safety management system and procedures identifying individual seafarer responsibilities. The principles of safety audits, the onboard safety committee, the ship's safety officer, incident, near miss and hazard reporting and reviews, the principles of job hazard analysis, and also personal protective equipment in common use, helmets, goggles, gloves, and safety shoes. Okay. Committee es esa pronunciación. With double M, double T, double E.
Committee.
Safety committee, safety audits, and ship safety officer. Okay, Tito, please, can you read the red one and this green one for the personal protective equipment?
Personal protective equipment in common use, helmet, goggles, gloves, and safety shoes.
All right, pretty good. So that's mainly for working in something like welding, cuando estoy trabajando en algo, como por ejemplo soldadura, okay, helmet, goggles, gloves, safety shoes, on electricity, okay, also in the engine room. And we have other of this personal equipment, dust mask and respirators, protective clothing for electricity, okay, like when you are aiming at some panel, cuando uno va a revisar un panel de muy alto voltaje, protective clothing, self-contained breathing apparatus, that's for fighting fire, cuando estamos peleando contra un incendio, estamos combatiendo un incendio, self-contained breathing apparatus, que tiene una máscara ya de gas. Okay, onboard life-saving appliances. Onboard life-saving appliances. Life jackets, life buoys. Let's take a look at that. Buoy.
Life buoy.
Life buoy. Life buoy. Life buoys. Life buoys. Las boyas salvavidas. Life buoy. Life rafts. Life rafts. Lifeboats. Line throwing apparatus. The EPIRF and SRIT or SART. Thermal protective aid and immersion suits. Estas son las thermal blankets and immersion suits are typical, the orange ones that are complete suits for immersion. Okay, life jackets, like buoys, that's the correct pronunciation for that. Life rafts, lifeboats, line throwing apparatus, the EPIRF, and SART, and thermal protective aids and immersion suits from the personal safety techniques. Okay, Firefighting appliances, Tiro, please. All those. Todas. Please.
Fire hoses, nozzles, hydrants, and fire main, portables for extinguishers, fire detecting systems, fix extinguishes system,
I'm sorry.
self-contained breathing apparatus, smoke helmet.
Okay, very good. So, as for the firefighting appliances, el equipo que hay pues, en uso, que puede disponer uno, fire hoses, son las mangueras, hose es manguera, hose. Nozzles son las boquillas. Okay. Hydrants and fire main. Fire main es hydrants, hidrantes, and fire main. Fire main pump, creo que aquí les faltó porque hay una bomba y es fire main pump, que es la del barco, una bomba de agua. Main fire pump for the ships. Okay. Main fire pump. Portable fire extinguishers. Portable fire extinguishers. Fire axe, hacha. Okay, axe, como la marca del desodorante. Fire detecting system, fire extinguishing system, self-contained breathing apparatus. Esa es la máscara de gas. And smoke helmet. What's a smoke helmet? Well, that's a smoke helmet. And the breathing apparatus, self-contained breathing apparatus. Tiene por ahí el oxígeno. Así que smoke helmet sería la máscara de gas. Okay. And self-contained breathing apparatus sería la forma de ese mecanismo para mantenerse respirando con el oxígeno. Medical equipment. So we have the resuscitator. Okay. Resuscitator. El resucitador. Okay, para primeros auxilios. The stretcher. Una camilla. Stretcher. Resuscitator. Stretcher. Medical chest and medicines. That's the same word for the first aid kit, the medical chest. Medical chest es similar al botiquín. Sí, y first aid kit. Medical equipment and defibrillator. Desfibrilador. Oil spill equipment. Can you read this, Tito, please?
Absorbent pads, absorbent rolls, chemical dispersants, dust, brooms, those pans, shovels, and barrels.
Okay, pretty good. So that's for oil spill equipment, maybe on deck, maybe in the engine room. Absorbent pads, absorbent rolls, chemical dispersant, sawdust. Cuando miremos esta palabra que es sierra, como la película también, las películas que salieron de terror, saw. Esa es la pronunciación completa para sierra. Sawdust. Okay. Brooms, pues ahí serían las escobas. Dustpans. Shovels son las palas. Barrels. Dustpans, I'm not clear with that. dustpan, recogedores de polvo, dustpan. And barrels, son barriles o toneles, barrels, barrels, y esa es la pronunciación con mucha E, barrels. All right, very good. Okay, let's continue. So I'm going to send this material. Study material.
Ships are made of steel and it is good conductor of electricity, meaning the potential of you getting electrocuted is big.
So ships are made of steel and it is a good conductor of electricity, meaning the potential of you getting electrocuted is big. What type of hazard? Hazard is peligro. What type of hazard is that? Electrical hazard, high risk drinking, good relationship, or effective communication. What do you think?
Electrical hazards.
All right, so that's electrical hazard that can get you killed. 6 shipboard hazards. 6 shipboard hazards. Okay, 1 is personal protective equipment, job-related safety and protective equipment. 2, sender, receiver, modes of transmission, encoding of messages, decoding of messages, interpretation of messages. 3, slippery surfaces. Slippery surfaces son las superficies resbalosas, slippery. Por eso slip es resbalarse, slip. Slip. Slippery surfaces. Low overhead entrances, low overhead entrances that you are maybe too tall and you are going to hit your head with something, hot surfaces, electrical hazards, mooring lines que son los lazos, ¿verdad? Mooring lines, ladders and stairways, sodium hypochlorite and formalin. What do you think are 6 shipboard hazards?
Number 3.
Okay, number 3. Pretty good. Hatches and doors have overheads lower than the usual doors and opening found ashore. Low overhead entrances, drug and alcohol abuse, human coronaviruses, or ladders and stairways.
Have overhead lower than usual doors opening. Number 4.
Okay, ladders and stairways, but ladders is for getting into something or lowering, okay? And hatches and doors, las compuertas y las puertas tienen una altura más pequeña que las puertas usuales, okay? Low overhead entrances. Low
That's right.
overhead entrances. Let's take a look at that because it's because they are, you know, shorter, son más pequeñas.
Yeah.
Las puertas.
Yes.
Okay, that's for low overhead entrances. May cause falls, causing injury to personnel. May cause falls, causing injury to personnel.
May cause falls causing injury to personnel.
Personnel. Slippery surfaces, ladders and stairways The present safety harness may cause falls. Pueden causar caídas causando golpes al personal.
Slippery surfaces.
Okay, slippery surfaces. Pretty good. Lines mean the ship ropes that are especially dangerous when under tension. Okay, los lazos, ¿verdad? Del barco que son especialmente peligrosos cuando están en tensión. Mooring lines, coronaviruses, safety harness, or lifelines.
Mooring line.
Mooring lines, okay? Mooring lines. Mooring, a dangerous operation.
Yeah.
And what's the meaning of that in Spanish? Bueno, amarre de un barco dice acá. Okay, so that's the mooring. Stoves, steam pipes, machinery spaces have hot surfaces that present potential danger of burns and or scalding.
Stoves, steam pipes, machinery spaces have hot surfaces that present potential danger of burns and or scalding.
Safety harness, low overhead entrances, hot surfaces, or drug abuse.
Hot surfaces. Surfaces.
Okay, hot surfaces. Surf es la misma pronunciación de surf, por ejemplo, de surf, del deporte, surf. Surfaces, surfaces. Hot surfaces.
Always bear in mind the phrase. Always bear in mind the phrase.
Ok, siempre ten en mente la siguiente frase. High risk in drinking, alcohol, human coronaviruses, attention to detail.
Attention to details.
Attention to detail. So I think that's for everything we do, not only for the ship related topics. Así que creo que eso va para todo, ¿verdad? Attention to detail.
Yeah.
All right, pretty good. Pretty good. Let's do some topics additionally.
Present a potential of the dangers of falling or tripping.
Okay, present a potential of the dangers of falling or tripping. The presence, ladders or on stairways, human coronaviruses or slippery surfaces. present a potential of the dangers.
Present of potential of danger of falling or tripping. Falling or tripping. Mm,
Do you think slippery surfaces or ladders and stairways presentan un peligro potencial de caerse o de tropezarse? Superficies resbalosas o las escaleras y escalinatas.
Ladder and stairways.
¿Ok?
Ladder and stairways.
Ladders. Esa sí va con A normal. Ladders. Ladders and stairways.
And stairways.
Stairways. Es decir, normal. La primera, ladders, y la otra se cambia a stairways.
Ahí.
Stairways.
Stairways.
All right. 3 job-related safety and protective equipments. Lifelines, safety harness, respiratory protection, cargo tanks, topside tanks, water tanks, ballast tanks, deck keels, sewage tanks, helmet, coveralls, safety shoes, gloves, goggles, ear protection, personal protective equipment, job-related safety and protective equipments. What do you think are three job-related and safety protective equipments?
3. 1. Lifeline, safety harness, respiratory protections.
Okay, pretty good. Lifelines. Let's take a look at lifelines. That's the lifeline. And, ¿cuál es el propósito de esa correa?
Evitar que uno a la hora de hacerlo detiene, le salva la vida. Por eso es lifeline, salvar la vida.
Ok, lifeline. Es como una manera de, pues incluso si me tropiezo, ¿verdad? Puedo tener esa ayuda del lazo salvavidas para evitar caer. Bueno, creo que en barcos más pequeños la caída al agua pues resulta un poquito más complicada porque el barco puede seguir su curso y si voy solo nadie va a decir que me caí, ¿verdad? Pero en barcos un poquito más grandes pues hay personas y están las alarmas y las alertas y todo. Pero muchas personas, por ejemplo en los Estados Unidos, les gusta tener sus barcos pesqueros y a veces salen así solos, ¿va?
Sí.
Y se caen y pues, ¿quién por ellos, verdad? Porque no había nadie ahí que pudiera hacer alertas ni nada. Así que pues creo que más peligroso los barcos pequeños o las barcazas que barcos muy grandes, ¿verdad? Los riesgos al final son muchos, pero that's the thing. Okay, so lifelines, safety harness when working on the side, okay? Maybe painting, maybe doing some work at the port side, and the respiratory protection. Respiratory protection. Also known as body harness that is attached to either an arrestor or a lifeline.
Also known as body harness that is attached to either an arrestor or a lifeline.
Okay, body, ese sí va completamente con A. Also known as body harness that is attached to either an arrestor or a lifeline. Safety harness, coronaviruses, lifelines, or mooring lines.
Safety harness.
Safety harness. When dealing with some work at the side of the ship. Safety harness.
you been needing a safety harness?
No, I don't need safety harness, mate. I've never fallen off the top of the mast before in my life.
Better be safe than sorry.
Well, no, you see, a safety harness gets in the way. Whenever I'm Right then, Nick.
Now then, what's your job for today, Graham?
I've got to change the light bulb at the top of the mast.
Will you be needing a safety harness?
No, I don't need safety harness, mate, because I've never fallen off the top of the mast before in my life.
Better be safe than sorry.
Well, no, you see, a safety harness gets in the way. When I'm trying to move around and whatnot, the safety harness, you know, it's a bit restrictive. I don't need one.
Oh dear. Are you okay, mate?
Mate es una palabra para decir hombre en inglés británico. Mate. Mate. Y lo usan así. Mate. Es como el dude. Dude del inglés americano. Dude, que es hombre, ¿verdad? O viejo. Por ejemplo, cuando uno... En doblajes usan el viejo. Nosotros no usamos tanto el viejo en Guatemala. Un poco, pero no tanto. A veces usamos un poquito más otras palabras, ¿verdad? Pero este es el viejo de ellos, el dude, mate. Por eso le dicen mate.
Put off the mast.
Was you not wearing a safety harness?
Yeah, you're right. I better wear a safety harness this time anyway. Get dirty. Right. That's too complicated. There you go.
Is that the correct safety harness for the job?
Well, not really, no. But you see, it's less restrictive. And I've got room to move around. So I can clip on the mast and I can move around like that and not worry about it.
But it's not the correct one for the job.
Well, what's the worst that can happen?
The worst that can happen is you fall over and break your back.
Yeah, you're right. Give me a hand here, please, Yuri. Thank you, sir. Yes, thank you, Yuri. Always wear the correct tool for the job. It's your life.
No sé por qué sale ese sándwich por la hora. Okay, so 6%. Oh, okay, we already have this. 6 protective equipment. Personal protective equipment. Personal protective equipment es toda el área de equipo de protección personal que se usa al realizar algún trabajo en específico. Okay. So
Number 2, helmet,
Yeah.
overall safety shoes,
Okay.
goggles, and ear protection.
Okay, thank you. So another one. This is a new one.
Small diameter nylon rope that is attached to a safety harness. Small diameter nylon rope that is attached to a safety harness.
Lifeline.
Okay, so that's a small diameter nylon rope that is attached to a safety harness. So he was using a full body safety harness, and we also have the other one, the other strap that was just for the, for the waist. Estaba el otro que solo era para la cintura. Okay. But since he was going to work, in the upper side, a full body size safety harness was needed. Safety and protective equipment category. Okay. Personal protective equipment and job-related safety and protective equipments.
Yeah.
Air filtering face piece designed to filter out hazards.
Air filtering face piece designed to filter out hazards.
Respiratory protections.
Okay, respiratory protection.
Yeah.
Respiratory protection.
Respiratory protections.
Okay. I'm sorry. 14 terms. Okay, we have 14 terms. We are missing 32. Okay, 6 examples are of enclosed space. 6 examples of a closed space.
6
Cargo
examples of
tanks,
enclosed
topside
space.
tank,
Okay.
water tank, ballast tank, decks, keels, and sewage tanks.
Okay, so the cargo tanks, the topside tanks, water tanks, the ballast tanks, the deck keels, and also the sewage tanks. Do you know the meaning of sewage?
Aguas negras, sewage.
Okay, sewage tanks. Very good. De los desagües, ¿verdad? Sewage. Disinfectant solutions for SARS.
Disinfectant solutions for SARS.
Disinfectants. Let me. Es con I.
Yep. Dice.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Disinfectant.
Disinfectants. Okay, disinfectant solution for SARS, like COVID, right? Sodium hypochlorite, formalin, and everything is the same, okay? So I think it's just, I don't know, whatever, right? Sodium hypochlorite.
Chloride.
Chloride, that's the correct pronunciation. Chloride, sodium hypochlorite, and formalin. Sodium hypochlorite and formalin. Can you pronounce this? Sodium hypochlorite and formalin. ¿Puede pronunciarlo, Tito, esas dos?
Sodium hypochlorite, formalin.
Okay, sodium. Hypochlorite. And formalin. Very good. Okay, usually cause mild to moderate upper respiratory tract illnesses. Usually cause mild to moderate upper respiratory tract illnesses. Drug and alcohol abuse, coronaviruses, low overhead entrances, and human coronaviruses.
Low overhead entrances.
But remember, low overhead entrances. Una entrada, one entrance es una entrada, ¿ok? Entrance. Entonces, como dice que causan de moderado a suave enfermedades moderadas en el tracto respiratorio superior. ¿Cuál sería?
Coronavirus.
Okay, coronaviruses or human coronaviruses. Kind of difficult, right?
That's right.
Let's go with coronaviruses. Okay, human coronaviruses. Well,
Bad.
that was bad.
Sorry.
No estaba tan clara esa.
Yeah.
Disinfectant solution for SARS. So that's for the sodium.
Yeah.
I think number 2, but
number 4.
es la que tiene el espacio. O sea, todas son iguales, pero es la que tiene el enter, digamos.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
All right.
It's a device with
A device which is used to measure the amount of combustible gases present in a sample.
explosimeter.
Okay. Explosimeter. Let's hear the pronunciation.
Explosimeter. Explosimeter.
Explosimeter.
Explosimeter. Explosimeter.
Explosimeter.
Explosimeter. Que no sé si
Explosimeter.
es meter o meter. Let's hear again.
Explosimeter. Explosimeter.
Como meter.
Explosimeter. Meter.
Explosimeter.
Meter. Explosimeter.
Explosimeter.
Explosimeter. Okay, an illness caused by the coronavirus.
Severe acute respiratory syndrome.
Okay, the severe acute respiratory syndrome. I don't know. Let's check.
Syndrome.
Severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS. Usually caused by mild to moderate upper respiratory. Okay, that's the human coronaviruses.
I convert most people in their life.
Okay, are common viruses that most people get sometime in their life.
Drug abuse.
But remember,
no, I'm sorry.
Viruses.
Coronaviruses. Yeah.
Okay, can you read this, Tito, please?
It's vital that people get along with each other while performing different jobs or shifts. Good relationships.
So good relationship is vital that people get along. Get along es llevarse bien. Get along. Get along with each other es que se lleven bien entre todos. While performing different jobs on board ships. So maybe you have been working like many years now, and you have encountered many people that is difficult to work with. Many people don't separate, you know, the feelings like anger, sadness, and so from work, and they cause trouble in you know, on the job. Que muchas personas pues a veces no logran separar mucho trabajo y sus sentimientos.
Yeah.
So I had some problems with some of the people that works for INTECAP, because as for teachers, we really don't work in INTECAP, we work for INTECAP. So we have bills. Nosotros facturamos, un 95% de los maestros son facturados, son por contrato. Okay. And then you have all the people that is, you know, in INTECAP, that they are, you know, on the budget, que están presupuestados. And that's a difficult situation sometimes for us, because we depend on some of the people that is going to take papers from us. For example, las facturas, the vouchers, and so I have known people that is really that has a good attitude, and many people that they don't you know, separate their reactions from job. So angry, you know, like not good with responses and relationships. Así que he tenido pues, de todo, ¿verdad? En cuestión de lo que llevo en INTECAP. Y me imagino pues igual usted ha tenido diferentes experiencias, que siempre van a haber algunas personas difíciles con las que uno tiene que trabajar y van a haber personas que pues sí se lleva uno bien, ¿verdad? Y se llega a un entendimiento en todo trabajo eso va a ser. In every job you are going to encounter different type of personalities and you have to deal with that. Try to get along in the best possible way. Tratar de llevarse bien en la mejor, en el mejor de los casos. And if you are not going to be like too friendly, or you are going to have an excellent relationship, it can get really problematic for you to do a certain job. Y que si uno no se lleva bien con la gente, puede llegar a tener muchos problemas, ya que pues en esos trabajos uno depende enteramente también de la percepción que tienen de uno, supervisiones y demás. Y incluso pues las personas que están en altos mandos también no son infalibles, ¿verdad? También van a estar sujetos a ese tipo de situaciones en un punto menor, en un nivel menor, porque pues van a tener ciertas protecciones, se podría decir, but usually everything comes full circle. Al final, pues todo también llega a caer por su propio peso, ¿verdad? De cómo son las cosas en la vida laboral y no hay atajos, ¿verdad? No pueden haber atajos para las personas, pero no van a durar tanto, ¿ok? So, good relationship, okay? A good relationship. Okay, I think this is the one. Sodium. Okay, so I'm going to give you the test for this. Going to change the options. De combinación, no sé cuál es. I'm going to try that combination. Ah, that's a combination. Let's take out. All right, I think this is a good one. So please complete the test. I'm going to send the link. So you already have the material for the flashcards, the study material, así que puse el material de estudio antes y ahora puse el examen.
Okay.
All right, so please complete that during the day. All right,
Okay.
we are going to finish the class as for now. And let's meet again on the next day. That is
Tuesday.
Okay. Tuesday, okay. Esa siempre va con mucha pronunciación de Tuesday, como tú, Tuesday. Y la otra es Thursday, que es más hacia la O, como pensar en Thor, digamos, de las películas. Thor, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, para que no se confundan esos. Siempre tratar de asociar cosas muy, muy sencillas, muy simples a las palabras que me van a decir, sí, pues eso es así.
Okay.
Okay, so have a great rest of the day and let's meet again on Tuesday, okay? Goodbye,
Thank you.
Tito. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye, take care.
For your knowledge. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, take care. Thanks to you.
Nice to